Hey everybody, welcome back to Investing with Wesley. Unfortunately, a couple of you have commented saying that your parents or guardians had set up this custodial account for you, and then as time progresses, all of a sudden you turn the age of majority, you become an adult, and they keep the money. And you're wondering just how that could happen, how can that be, and is there anything you could do about it? So in today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about just that, the issues with certain custodial accounts. Let's get into it. So as I explained to you in a previous video, UGMA UTMA accounts are custodial accounts. And these are the original kinds of custodial accounts that a parent or guardian can set up for a minor. And with an UGMA UTMA account, anyone can set these accounts up. You don't have to be a blood relative. It just has to be an adult and a minor. But the biggest issue with custodial accounts like the UGMA UTMA is typically the custodian and the person putting money into this account are usually the same people. And a lot of people don't understand that if they're a designated custodian for this minor's account, they have a fiduciary responsibility to only withdraw money if it's in the direct best interest for the child. These custodial accounts aren't like retirement accounts where it takes a couple years to be vested. The second one penny goes into these custodial accounts, that penny is automatically vested and belongs to the child. So if anyone with access were to withdraw that money and use it for anything that is not directly benefiting the child, then they're committing fraud because, like I said, they have a fiduciary responsibility to do what's best with that money for that child. Now, with that being said, there are many loopholes to this where if a parent hires the right lawyer or knows the right person, they could actually get around these rules and keep the money themselves. Certain people commenting in that video gave a taste of exactly what these loopholes and backdoor ways of keeping that money are. Now in this video, I'm not going to go in depth on any of these backdoor ways to keep the money because this is an educational video and I don't want to educate the wrong people and have them use these backdoor ways to rob somebody in their family. So if you feel like you've been a victim or might become a victim of a custodian taking your money and withdrawing it without cause that's not directly benefiting you or won't directly benefit the minor, well then reach out to me and ask your question in a more private manner so I can help answer and tell you if what they're doing is considered legal or not. I get that families have emergencies and sometimes things happen, but more often than not, from what I've read, it's greed that makes family members want to keep that money for themselves. They see that they've been putting so much money into this account and seen how much it's grown into, and maybe that child decides they don't want to go to college with it, but instead they want to gamble it away in Las Vegas. Well, you would think the parent would do the wise thing and say, you're not ready for this much money, and keeps it. But that's still technically fraud and that's still technically illegal. The day that that minor turns 18, that money is solely theirs and there is nothing you can do about it. There's numerous case law and numerous court cases where family members take that money for bona fide family emergencies like medical expenses. And still the minor, when they turn 18, sues the family member and wins. And not only do they win all the money they should have got, but they also win compounded interest off that money, as well as the family member that lost had to pay for all the attorney fees for them and the family member that won's attorney. So I really encourage you to think twice before you dig into an UGMA UTMA asset account because any withdrawals that don't go to direct benefit of that child is considered fraud. Now, if you're watching this video because you're thinking about opening up a custodial account, but you're really not sure and just want to know if there's some avenues to get your money back in the event that your kid doesn't go to college or do a particular thing they want, well, an UGMA UTMA account is not for you, and do not do it because, as I've explained this entire video, withdrawing that money can be very illegal. What I would recommend for you, if you were the kind of person that wanted to put some money aside for your kid, but also wanted them to obey certain rules with that money, then a trust is the best option for you. Because a trust can hold investments just like any of these custodial accounts, but with a trust, you could set it up to where you're the trustee and the beneficiary of that trust is your minor or your kid. In order for the beneficiary of a trust to receive those funds, they actually have to follow all the rules of the trust. So if you set up a trust with the rule of you don't get any of this money unless it's for college or unless you graduate from college, then theoretically you can set it up that way. Now, setting up a trust is pretty expensive, and even the cheapest forms of trust are usually about $5,000. So definitely think about it before you commit to spending that much money on a trust. But ultimately, if you wanted to put money away for your child, but also wanted to reserve the right to take some of that money back in the event for some kind of emergency, or maybe they're just not ready for that kind of money yet, then yeah, a trust would probably be the best option for you. Because a trust is pretty much the only account where you can invest your money for somebody else, but then in the event that things go wrong, you could actually take your money back without penalty. I hope you got value from this video, and I hope I helped shed some light on the problem that people are having with these UGMA UTMA accounts, not realizing they have a fiduciary responsibility to do what's best for the child. If you got value from this video or if I helped you learn something, please remember to like and subscribe because it really helps the YouTube algorithm go. I also have a dedicated Instagram account, so feel free to follow me there. I don't post there too often, but if you ever had a question or just wanted to reach out, that would be a better place to do it, because going through all the comment feeds and replying to each and every one of you just kind of gets disorganized and I might miss a couple people. So if you ever had a question, that would be your best place to reach me. Until our next episode, have a good one.